Good evening. Welcome to the December 6th Clark County Fire District 6 Board of Fire Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call this evening's meeting to order and ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for any additions to this evening's agenda.
None here.
None here. We'll need to read and approve, post as necessary, the minutes of the November 15th board meeting.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Correspondence this evening, I saw in our packet, there were,
Yeah, there's a number. We received the certified assessed value letter from the Clark County Assessor. The budgeted AV was $13,539,987,365. The actual certified AV is $17 million less than that, which isn't a huge difference. Also, the new construction was lower than the county's estimate by about $2 million. Next was an email from the chief to the board discussing the certified AV and the difference, and also that there's a admin refund in the certified AV that was not in any projection by the county of $19,408. So board secretary sent a letter, or rather a new levy certification with a scrivener's error that includes the admin refund amount. So that should be accepted by the county. That's happened in the past. It was actually the county assessor that recommended I do that 2 previous times in the past. So it's a way to make it easy without having to have the board adopt your resolution. Received a greeting card from Cressa for the holidays. A Girl Scout, do they call them troops? What do they call them? Troops. Sent a thank you for the first aid learning and tour of the engines. And from Ontario, Oregon, Clint Benson said a thank you for support. And I think that was addressed to you, Chief?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know who that is. But
He's the new chief of Ontario, Oregon, and I've been working with him to help him through some stuff.
okay.
that's all I saw.
All righty, I think that's all that I have here as well. Citizen communication, any citizens viewing this evening's meeting, there is a feature that you can use to communicate directly with the board. That'll be monitored throughout this evening's meeting. If you type in any questions that you may have, the board will take an opportunity to answer those. Committee reports, health and safety report.
So Chief Russell is sick this evening, so I'll be doing the health and safety report. We had a neck injury while training, no time lost, a shoulder injury while training, no time lost, a dog bite but no puncture of the skin with no time lost, a laceration to the head, no time lost, and an eye injury while exercising, and this was a significant time loss claim. So the safety committee encourages employees to wear eye protection while playing pickleball to prevent further injuries. No exposures, no accidents. Shift reports, there was a body armor proposal that they brought forward, and also they wanted to inquire about getting blue lights on the apparatus for response capabilities rather than just parking. So right now in Washington State, you can have blue lights parked on the side of the road as indicators, but you can't use them during response.
And that's something Brad can do if we decide to do it later.
Potentially, yes.
Because we have 2 at the factory yards.
Yeah, Brad's completely capable to add lights if we wanted them to.
Thank you.
So nothing else for health and safety.
Okay. Any questions? Good. Yeah. I didn't see anything related to risk management or the fairgrounds fire facility.
No, sir.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Chief's report.
So for a personal action report, we had Rich Rennie, who tested and got promoted to the position of training captain, so he'll start that January 1st, and Captain Greeley will come back to the line. Jason Dunnigan was selected to be a SCBA tech. Ashley Mitchum is on light duty. Josh Matter is off duty and soon to start light duty. And Scott Talby announced that he will retire March 1st of 2023.
All right.
And I will let Chief Newberry do the facilities report.
Okay, I believe the chief put something into the board packet regarding a memo that I sent.
Yeah, I see it. It's in
To
here.
go over the remodel, and I can certainly answer any questions for you, but what I've basically done is, we had a schedule with the architect that laid out our plan for the remodel, and it's all based on receiving permits from the county. Well, that date that we had initially planned for, which was in the first week of November, has come and gone. And so, I've been asking the difficult questions as to why, and through some digging, we found the answers, which I call them soft answers. I don't know how solid they are, but they are answers. And basically what we have found is there is a process where you submit your packet to the county. It's an old and kind of antiquated process, but it was reliable. And we've recently moved to a new electronic submission process. We were kind of one of the first to do so, and in doing so, it seems that there may have been a lag in their receiving of the packet by almost a month. And so they could certainly argue they did not receive the packet until a later date than we submitted it. And so therefore, when you extrapolate that schedule out, it puts us more along the lines of January 6th to getting the permit. And so I discussed with the chief what kind of some of our timelines and challenges are in that memo. And it's good to give about 2 months for prospective bidders to bid a project, so that they have plenty of time to vet the project, get their good numbers in with their subcontractors. It helps us stay away from change orders. It's just a kind of a good general practice of 6 to 8 weeks, preferably 8. We had always anticipated doing that, and we would still like to do that. And we also have learned from the past that it's not always good to go out to bid before you have a permit in hand, because at times the county will, at the last minute, through their second or third round of comments, require some changes to the project that could be substantial. We learned that at Station 63 when an energy code had been updated and adopted, and we had to put about $120,000 air handling unit on the roof of 63, which was not planned for, and then was a significant change order. Change orders cost the money of the labor and the materials, but there's also an additional percentages added onto it. And oftentimes contractors make their money in change orders, so we try to avoid change orders. So if we don't go out to bid until we have a permit in hand, then we avoid some of those last minute changes by the county. What we're up against, though, is that in February, the prevailing wage rates come out, and we had projected our costs on this project for the 22 prevailing wage rates. Well, of course, everybody knows that those rates are going up because cost of living has gone up so much, and depending on how much those go up, which you don't know because it's based on certain months, February to February, actually August to February, it could be an additional 5% in labor expenses. So we're trying to get this project out to bid to avoid some of those problems, but to also not bring other problems upon ourselves. So when I wrote this memo to the chief, it was before I got a little bit more information from McKinsey today, but they are proposing, instead of waiting until January 6th to put it out to bid, is to do it just before Christmas. There's a process in place that you can amend the plans at the plan center, or when they go out to the potential bidders, and it's easy for them to adjust their pricing before a change order comes into effect. So that's the long and short of it. It's frustrating. I wait every day for a phone call, and it is what it is, and that's so that's the same story with also our pre-engineered metal building at Station 63, which is quite a bit less of a project than Station 61, but still the same timelines.
So Chief, logical, if they're gonna bid, don't you think the subs would take into consideration the change in the prevailing wage before they bid it? I mean, what, does it do us any good to go early to try to catch that, when once the project starts, we have to pay prevailing wage anyway, don't we?
We pay for prevailing wages based on the year that the project is bid. So if the project is bid in this prevailing wage cycle,
Okay.
the prevailing wages are paid on this schedule.
Okay.
If it's bid after March 1st, when the new prevailing wages are published, then it goes onto the new prevailing wage list. So
Another question, they've looked at it once and sent back their revisions their first time?
yes, the first round of comments have come back.
Okay.
McKinsey responded within a day, and so it's back into the county's.
Okay. So we know what they did the first time, so we know that, 99% of it's probably good. They'll come up with.
It often goes into different departments' hands, so you don't know exactly when you're gonna get, the so-and-so division's comments, so,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So you would wanna call for bids at our board meeting on the 23rd?
I'm taking this I'm having a discussion with Kathy today about that, and I'm asking her to identify all the pitfalls. But it seems that will be her recommendation, that on the 22nd, 23rd, so the board meeting.
The board meeting is on the 21st. this
21st, I'm sorry.
21st, that will be ready to go for that.
Okay.
And so the advantage to that is the prevailing wage structure is based upon the current schedule.
Correct.
But am I hearing you right in that we can incur costs associated with changes downstream? Is that right?
So you always can incur change orders throughout a project because of unforeseens, changes the owner wants, something that the county comes up with at the last second. So you saw last project that we had change orders.
Okay.
Contingency,
Yeah.
yes, the contingency in the budget is there to cover those kinds of changes. What we don't want to do is pre-engineer an automatic change order ahead of time.
Okay.
So could you cover that amendment process again, so that they could rebid it with the?
So yes, if we send this out before we have a permit set in hand, so if we send this out on the 22nd of December.
Okay.
And we don't get a permit set until sometime in January from the county, our permits.
Yep.
Then, you can then take your permit set it to all the bidders, the interested bidders, and say, hey, this has been a change, adjust your pricing accordingly now, because this does not constitute reason for change orders in the future.
Before you award the bid.
Right, before you award the bid, they'll build that into the bid.
Okay.
Did we do a 5% contingency on this one?
Gosh, it's been so long. I thought it was a little
I thought it
bit
was
more.
a little bit more?
Yes, I think around 7 on this one.
Okay. We do have a lot of windows.
Yeah, well, and it's also a couple of remodels involved in this project, and already that there's some unknowns to this building, this site, that we will likely find as we tear things apart.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that update. Is that all the facilities I see here? Yeah. Was there anything else related to facilities in your update? Just
No.
the permits, okay. Perfect. Did you have anything else in the chief's report? I just see the two items.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Moving on to the old business audit update.
So I included in your packet the full audit report. We received that yesterday. I'm pleased to report that the district had a clean audit. They did have some recommendations with procurement and capital projects, so we will incorporate all those into the Station 61 project and follow their recommendations. But a clean audit.
You sure I got to sit through the exit interview?
I did, yeah,
Fun, isn't
I did. New business, surplus medical supplies.
So in your packet, there's a list of surplus medical supplies. AMR approached the district and said they were doing a donation to Ukraine and had specific things that they needed donated. Ours happened to be expiring, so the board would need to make a motion to declare those surplus so we could donate them.
So move the 4 items on here.
Seconded. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the debt services payment.
Twice a year, we're required to pay on our current bonds that we're carrying, the bond from 2017 and the bond from 2021. The total payment for principal and interest on that is $946,775. The board would need to make a motion to transfer that money from 6212 to 6213 debt services to make that bond payment.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We would like to schedule an open house at 63. We feel like we're ready to do it now. We were shooting for May, a little bit different open house than we traditionally have at 61. This would be more for dignitaries in the area, so business association, neighborhood association, that type of open house. We're considering the dates of May 6th or May 13th, and I would ask the board if they had a preference on one of those.
Do you know your work schedule for May, next May?
Let's go for May 13th.
I would prefer May 13th. I'm out of town the week of the 6th in DC.
13th work for both of you?
Yeah, 13th. All right.
That's
Perfect. That was easy. May 13th.
That's yeah,
It's a Saturday. Yeah.
You might have some neighbors wandering too, you know that, so. Can't hardly keep people
Yes,
out.
and if you have people that you think we should include, please let me know.
Okay. May 13th.
So I would, probably want it, before I forget, there's some legislative people that help us,
Okay, yeah,
and a couple of past commissioners.
okay.
And Bob Whiting wants to see it, so. He already did.
Mhm.
But, yeah, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
May 13th. All right.
Did you say a time?
I didn't say a time yet. More to come.
Okay. We know it's May 13th. All right. Moving on to Secretary of the Board compensation.
So there was discussion about the Secretary of the Board position, compensation in relation to the audit officer position in open meeting. We discussed $950 a month for that position, but then with the 2023 increase, that went to $975. So the board would need to make a motion to make that change from $950 a month to $975 a month for the Secretary of Board compensation.
That would take effect December 1st, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, so, that would take effect January 1,
January 1.
but the auditor position would take effect December
Okay.
1st.
All right.
So 2 different motions.
Okay.
So the first would be to increase from $950 to $975 for the board secretary compensation.
$5 a month. I'll make a motion to increase the Secretary of the Board's compensation from $950 to $975 per month.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then I'd make a motion that we appoint the district secretary to the position of our audit officer effective December 1st.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Year in review.
So every year in December, we give the board a year of review of what the district has accomplished the past year. If the board would entertain it, I would like to read these because I think it's important for the public to hear everything that we've accomplished for the year, if that's okay with the board.
We got time.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say, when you start to write these down in a list, it's overwhelming, everything that's been done. And, sometimes these things, the amount of stuff that happened this past year, I don't know if we had energy from being down from COVID or what it was, but sometimes this amount of stuff takes years. So I'm proud of everybody at this department, from the board to the newest firefighter, because none of this wouldn't have happened without a group effort. So I'll start from the beginning and we'll go to the end. But we started off the year by swearing in a new commissioner, Commissioner Haynes. We ratified the collective bargaining agreement for 2022 to 2024. We had a line of duty death funeral for Joe Killian. Healthcare benefits were provided for part-time employees. We hired 10 lateral and entry-level employees to increase the staffing and improve our response. We held the district's first ever combination lateral entry academy in-house. We awarded Firefighter of the Year to Max Olson and Calder Russell. We awarded Officer of the Year to Casey Taylor. Exemplary service awards were given to David Schmidtke, Brad Osborne, Andre Demaniuk, and Pat Claflin. We contracted for cybersecurity upgrades to protect the district from cyber attacks. We entered into a water tender agreement with CCFR to reduce the community fire insurance premiums in our northwest areas. We developed an operational plan for Station 151 with CCFR. We balanced our call response into CCFR to ensure our units were available to our community. We produced 2 community mailers about the district and sent them to our residents. We reenacted the Support Services Volunteer Program post-COVID. We hosted an open house at Station 61, facilitated the Hazeldale Parade of Bands, participated in the Philida Elementary Barbecue, hosted a fire prevention poster contest for 8 area schools, conducted 22 school visits in the district reaching over 1,000 students, provided approximately 40 station tours, solidified the cadet program post-COVID, drafted an intern program to support the cadet program and other interested individuals. We were reimbursed from FEMA for COVID expenses. In 2022, we were reimbursed over $60,000. Total to date for that reimbursement is over $103,000. And we have an overtime coverage related to COVID reimbursement coming to the district for $118,000. The EMS levy was handled in district, saving over $35,000. The EMS levy passed with the highest rate of any fire service measure in the state at 78.47%. We purchased Lucas devices for all our first out units, increasing the survivability of cardiac arrest in our community. We contracted with a new employee assistance program to support our employees. We're the first agency in the state of Washington to contract for behavioral wellness services as a part of our annual physical. We're the only agency our size in the state of Washington to be 100% IFSAC certified in Firefighter 1 and 2 and hazmat awareness and operations. We contracted with the Clark County Fair for services and represented the district. We finalized the build for 2 new fire engines with anticipated delivery in February. We upfitted the air and rehab. We purchased the district's first tractor-drawn aerial to improve our response capabilities. We are the sponsor of the Mechanics Roundtable for Southwest Washington and Portland metro areas. We secured 3 positions on the Washington State Fire Chiefs Board. Vice President is myself, Region 6 Representative Assistant Chief Russell, and Mechanics Representative Brad Osborne. We appointed an audit officer. We completed the Washington State annual report in-house rather than hiring it out, saving the taxpayers money. We hired 11 lateral members successfully completed their probation. 3 members successfully completed their captain trial service period. 1 member promoted to battalion chief. 1 member promoted to captain. 2 members completed paramedic school. 2 members were appointed to the technical rescue team. 1 member was appointed as an SCBA technician. We purchased a storage building to expand Station 63. We were recognized with the Patriotic Employer Award from the Office of the Secretary of Defense. We reduced the district's insurance premiums by almost $40,000. We received a clean audit from the Washington State Auditor for 2019 to 2021. We reviewed and updated numerous policies. We redesigned the district's internal and external web pages to improve their function. We brought in instructors to cover over 4 months of training to improve the officer development program. And we processed plans for 14 developments in the district. 3 apartment buildings, 1 trailer park, 5 residential subdivisions, 1 senior memory care, and 4 commercial developments.
Hoorah.
So like I said, it's been a busy year, and it's been everybody working together and hard.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of great achievements over the last year. Alright. Moving on, let's see. Contract to investigate.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the fire district retain Lori Bemis to investigate a formal complaint that was sent directly to the Board of Fire Commissioners.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Bay door purchase for Station 6-3.
I will let Chief Newberry cover this.
Thanks, Chief. Part of the project costs at Station 63's pre-engineered metal building are doors, bay doors. Those are not included in the package from the factory. Those are things that we have to purchase on the secondary market. The original plan was to just roll that cost into the general contractor's expenses. They would then go out and find doors and bring them in. The problem is that there's about a 16-week turnaround on getting those bay doors right now. So that if we were to wait until we had a general contractor on board, we may be waiting for many months after the building is completed and not having bay doors on it. So I went ahead and pulled the doors out of what we'll be expecting from the general contractor, and went out and did the limited small works process for the fire district ourselves. And basically, this limited small works process is for projects that are greater than or less than 50,000 but greater than 30,000. So it's a very narrow window. These happen to be in that window, and it requires us to get 3 bids from our small works roster, and which we finally did after many weeks of trial. But in your packet, I believe you have those 3 bids.
Yeah.
And you will see that Metro Overhead Door was the low bidder. They are a responsible bidder per the RCW 1827, and the chief and I recommend that we consider that bid and move forward with it. That exceeds the chief's spending limit of at the bid price, and so that would take an action of the board. Would you like me to say what the bids were?
We've got those, Chief.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just looking at this as well.
And we have to take the low one, so. Gosh, there's $20,000 difference. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we award the overhead door bid for our storage building Station 3 to Metro Overhead Door, $32,693.44.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You.
Thank you.
All right, moving on here. I didn't see any executive session this evening. Roundtable good of the order. Somebody's in Florida. Anybody have anything for the roundtable good of the order here?
Walk and Knock happened this weekend. It was a good turnout. Andre had the place looking great for them to come in and do it. And
Okay.
cadets were out working, directing traffic. I drove by on a couple trips to Target and saw everybody out working on it. So.
All right. Very
And
nice.
then we're still collecting stuff for Santa's posse, so the stations are filling up with lots of toys, and it's good to see.
Very nice.
And the districts, I talked gonna pick up their items on Friday the 9th, about 9 in the morning.
Friday the 9th.
And I think I have that truck again.
Friday the 9th,
Isn't it?
that is really quite early.
This Friday.
Well, if we deliver the following Sunday, it's Christmas.
Yes, sir.
So,
Friday, December 9th.
19th?
No, 9.
Okay,
19.
thank you.
My date's tonight.
16th?
We spent all day, the 16th,
Okay.
all day trying to figure out when we're gonna have family Christmas this afternoon. And my
Okay.
date's gone.
We will be there with bells on.
Sure you will. I should have a forklift. Do you wanna just fork the food straight in on the pallets? They don't have a pallet jack for you to steal though.
We can offload them easily.
Okay.
Alrighty. With that, we'll need to authorize payment of current bills, authorize monthly commissioner compensation.
So move.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Enjoy the wet sandy beaches.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I almost fell asleep there.